everyone for joining us tonight. It's great to see you for our information session for our Indigenous Business Growth Program, starting on May the 30th to the 17th of August 2022. So before we get into it, I might just start with acknowledgement of country and acknowledging that right now, myself, I am on Gadigal country of the Eora Nation, and acknowledging all the countries that you all come from, and thanking the elders past, present and future for allowing us to be able to do what we do. So I just want to introduce myself. My name is Greg Hodgkinson. I'm the CEO of First Innovators, and I'm proud Wirrangate Aboriginal man from the West Coast of South Australia, and proudly running these programs and have been for a few years. And as you can see here, the programs basically started, well, I started running these programs back in 2015-16 in Adelaide, where I started my business Indigenous Space originally. And from there, I came to Sydney to be part of an Indigenous accelerator program. Lucky enough to be part of that. And from that, I never left Sydney. I stayed in Sydney and got more involved in supporting and running accelerator programs, working with our partner Investable, who I'll talk a bit later on. And then I became a partner of them, and then started running accelerator programs for businesses, which was in person prior to COVID. And then when COVID hit, we took it all online. And in doing that, that allowed us to then be able to get out to more businesses across Australia. You'll hear from some of our great alumni that came to our last program as we get more into this and their experiences. But as you can see here, 2021-22, together with Indigenous Capital Limited, we started First Innovators. So based off the back of all the programs that we've been running for the last few years, we started First Innovators, a not-for-profit, which is Indigenous-led, and looking at ways that we can better support businesses like yours across Australia. So why are we different? Why is our programs different? Because we are not the only program out there. There are other programs being run. We feel that, one, we are different because we are Indigenous-led. We have some really great Indigenous people involved in our programs, including Brendan Bishop, who you'll meet in a moment, and as well as some other great small business people that have all had some great experiences in running our own businesses, our ups and our downs. And we look forward to helping you off the back of our experiences to help you navigate the next part of your journey with your businesses. And we feel that our programs, we really look at how do we develop you as an individual first to really help you develop your businesses and be ready for what's next in your businesses. We know that there are many barriers to start and grow an Indigenous business. We've experienced them ourselves, and we want to help you overcome those barriers. And we want to help you ensure that one of the barriers we know is feeling a little bit alone in your journey and not knowing where to turn for support. And what are other businesses out there? So that's where we want to really help you to not feel alone in your journey. And in our program, we put a lot of support and coaching around all of you individually. And we also link you in with past participants, which we call our glowworms. And we link you in not just the cohort of this program, but also businesses that have been through previous programs. We know that we all have a unique story, and we need to tell it. We all need to tell it. It's what sets us apart from other businesses. We know the importance of story. Developing and sharing our story, clarity and focus, why we are telling our story, what is our purpose. That's a big part of our program. We feel that, as I said before, that we all have a unique story and we need to tell it. So our program really helps you to develop that story and really understand it and really own it, and then help to get that out there. This program is based on world-class proprietary business development methodologies, trusted and by thousands of entrepreneurs and business owners. It was actually designed by our partner Investable, their founder Krill Price, while he's working with the Richard Branson Centre for Entrepreneur Excellence when he was working with them in South Africa. And we based our programs off of that. We put our flavour to it, and you'll hear from our great trainer in a moment. And he brings a lot of his experiences and flavour to it. Yeah, we have a very flexible approach to delivery. Obviously, our delivery is online, and we provide a lot of support and coaching and stuff and development for businesses during the program. And as we said before, we don't want you to be alone. We help you to connect one to each other, and we really encourage you to catch up and look at ways to support each other in a number of different ways. But we also like to link you in with our past alumni at the same time.
Welcome, guys. Brendan Bishop's my name. I'm based in Mackay in central Queensland. And if someone can develop some proper internet, you can probably see my face. But don't worry, I haven't got any prettier than that picture there, so you're not missing anything. Yeah, so living on Yui country, but all my mobs from Gamilaroi country there. And basically run a couple of businesses. One is Indigenous Business Builders, so we do Indigenous business and economic development around the countryside. Run this program with Brother Gregory. Do a lot of work up in the Torres Strait and Cape York, running workshops and doing some business coaching and mentoring up there. And then we're also running a program called Trading Tracks based across central Queensland, working with BHP and Indigenous businesses across that region there. So I've got a couple of employees running those programs. So technically, this is my part-time job that takes up about 40 hours a week, and I actually run another business called Trades and Maintenance Guys. Predominantly, we're an electronics company. We've got a couple of divisions. One looks after CCTV, which covers access control data, all that type of gear. And then we've got another division that looks after antennas and satellites. And then just to add a bit more burden to my plate, we're just about to buy a solar company and an electrical contracting company as well. So one of my big passions, Indigenous business and economic development, and our the vision for our companies is to create intergenerational Indigenous income. So that's what we're about. But that's enough about me. I guess, Greg, you want me to talk about the program?
Yep.
Cool. So a lot of stuff we do with Indigenous businesses across the countryside. We've all heard of business plans and putting something on paper. What you see right in front of there is what we actually do for this program. We call it a business model blueprint. We don't have 20, 30 page business plans. We're a very visual mob. So this is something we run through all of this content over the next sort of 10 to 12 weeks. And essentially we encompass this one business model blueprint on an A3 page. So we look at the value proposition. What are we giving to our customers? How are we going to deliver that? So we call that our delivery proposition. So we start to look at what our roles as founders are, how we're going to scale the business. And then we have a look on that, I call it the dirty F word of business, finance, the financial proposition. And that's my favorite part. I love crunching the numbers. What's it going to set the cost to set up the business? What are our cost of goods? What are our monthly expenses? What are our projections? And then how can we minimise some costs in there to try and make some profit and see when we become profitable? So we've got some good templates we use there. And then that fourth part, which we do last, but it's the first component on the business model blueprint, is about the vision and mission and how we're going to grow and why we're going to be successful, and look at our things like that. So we do those. So you probably hear from me every 2 weeks. I'll be coming online and doing some content. And then Brother Greg will go through the big component of this, which I love, is that learning to tell our story. about our past, our business, and how we can put that forward to our customers. And then there's that concept then with marketing. How do we market the business properly? And Greg's got some wonderful contacts that envelop that, especially that digital content, digital marketing. It's a wonderful, wonderful tool that he gets, and you get a lot of coaching and mentoring through that. So yeah, I've done lots of programs, worked on lots of programs across the countryside, and I'll guarantee you won't find one better than this in regards to support, the people, the networks that they can contact you with. Greg and his mob have done a deadly job. So anything else you wanted me to cover there, brother?
That's fine. Thank you, Brendan. And we've talked about this here as where we do a really holistic approach. We really look at the founder chemistry, and we do one-on-one coaching and mentoring. And as we said before, we look at the personal well-being. Yes, the outcomes is really looking at some validation milestones and putting together the business blueprint model. We finish with doing up a video. And we really want you to develop some new networks and develop some plans and goals of what's the next stage, as well as helping you to further tell your story and pitch that story. This is the programming on the 30th of May, and it's running every Monday night for 11 weeks. And then we will finish with a final presentation in week 12 on the Wednesday night. And all apart from, and there's a bit of a typo there, all apart from week 1 and 3, it's 2 hours, and it just be an extra half an hour on week 1 and 3, where we've got some extra little bits that we want to squeeze into the first couple of sessions there. As you'll see there, we go through and do some digital marketing components, and we'll talk a bit more about that in a moment. And we also really get into storytelling and really helping you develop that story and tell it, and through looking at different avenues of how to tell your story. And we think that's one of the most important things that you'll get out of this, and really some real clarity and confidence in what that story is.
Background on me, I've been in retail and technology for all of my career, so for about 20 years, and I started in the UK working with a major brand over there, and then I came over to Australia, and I've worked with huge brands like Woolworths, and I've also worked with I've gone from Woolworths to the Fishmongers, I've gone from Showpo fashion store to a candle maker in the middle of whoop somewhere. So I love what I do. I'm passionate about retail. I'm passionate about online. I'm passionate about digital. I'm passionate about connecting stories. So I love this course. I love the focus on storytelling, because I think that's the digital future, the future of digital, in that we have to be able to connect to people, because at the end of every piece of technology is a real person that wants in some way to connect with you, wants to hear your story, wants to know what you're about. And that's the way we sell products online, basically. So I'm super excited about helping you build platforms that allow you to share your story. And I believe in this kind of digital fishing model. You teach a person to fish, or you teach them digital, you give them a platform for life. And we know that this industry is changing really, really quickly. Over the last 6 months with COVID, I'm sure your own behaviors have changed, and we've seen the growth online. We've actually seen online change more in the last 6 months than it has done in the last 5 years. And we're seeing growth in sales. I'm working with a small retailer who grew 600% over the last 90 days. They just did $250,000 online, their biggest ever quarter. So although COVID is having a massive impact on businesses, there's also some really positive stories coming out of it as well, from an online digital perspective. And customers are trying new brands. I don't know about you, but we're all searching online more. We're trying to answer questions more. Your toy company has grown 600% as well. It's amazing. That's fantastic news. 600 seems to be the number. That's where we've all got to get to, right? 600% growth. But we're all searching more online. We're all on Google. We're all looking for products, for services. Every day people are searching, and there's new searches happening every day. And again, in the last year, 44% of us have tried completely new products that we've never tried before, products and services. And that's where I go, the opportunity. It's not just about the big guys. It's not just about the big corporates. The small businesses can really grow in these times as well. So that's what I'm passionate about. In terms of the course and what we'll be doing, I kind of run you through a formula that I've used with big businesses and small businesses, and works if you follow it. And the formula is really looking at customer, so understanding who the customer is. When people are walking past you, or on the phone to you, or walking into your business presence, it's really easy for you to tell them a story. It's really easy for you to, it's easier to connect with them and share what you have. It's not so easy online. So what we don't want to do is talk to a million people in exactly the same tone, exactly the same way. We want to find who your customers are and those people that are going to connect with you, because what we do then is we increase your sales, we increase your conversions, and we get better results. So first bit is looking at customer and understanding the customer. We'll look at your platforms and just make sure you've got all the right technology in place. And there's no excuse for bad technology nowadays. It's off the shelf, easy plug and play. And I'm going to show you some tips and tricks on how to basically do that. And then looking at Google. So I mentioned earlier on about the searches that are going on each day. I think there's something like 1 billion searches a minute or something ridiculous like that. So I'm going to show you how to use Google to your advantage, because it is your new shop front, and how to get to the top of Google for things that are important to you and important to your customers. And then the last one is all about content. And I love, again, the storytelling piece will really, really help with that, because when we start to talk about content, it's really about creating content that connects through social media, through email channels. Hi, Annie. And through your websites as well. So they're kind of the 3 areas we cover. And then I'm lucky enough to get to have one-on-one mentoring sessions with you as well. So that's where you can ask me anything, and we can go through your particular business model and look at how we get you growing and get you moving quicker, faster, and bigger. That's me in a nutshell. I can't wait to work with you all. I'm really excited.
So welcome everyone, really great to have you here and looking at all your faces online. I'm an F4S coach, and that's just an abbreviation for Fingerprint for Success. Now, Greg, can you let me know whether the participants have done their assessment yet or not?
No, that'll be the next thing.
Okay.
And we'll talk a bit more about registration in a moment, because I know some have and some haven't. The first step will be getting you to do a Fingerprint for Success assessment.
Yeah, okay. So that basically, when you think about a lot of psychometric tools, if you even know what that means, it's what they do is there's a lot of tools out there like LSI and Myers-Briggs, and a lot of organizations use them to assess the type of person you are. Some people hate them because it pigeonholes them into a little box that says this is who you are, and basically this is all you'll probably ever be, and not a lot of flexibility around that. Fingerprint for Success is a unique tool because it is static. That means that it changes. So you take the assessment, and the assessment measures motivations. Where do I find energy? Where do I find focus of attention in the work I do? And we do our work in a really complex way, but it's actually quite similar. So you get to have a look at all the little, and they're individualized bubbles, and I'll do a presentation on an interpretation of what they mean. So when you do your assessment, don't be pigeonholing yourself into wanting to be an entrepreneur or a business builder. So the assessment actually measures your capacities or your motivations in those particular areas. So if you think, oh, I would like to be an entrepreneur, and you come out as a business builder, it doesn't matter, because the thing is you can focus on any type of motivation and attention in your business and in your work to be able to change it. So they're not set in concrete. And so the measurements are basically a way in which that you can develop. You can actually take the opportunity to develop yourself. As you know, going into business is also a journey of the self. You actually go through the highs and the lows of actually success and failure and all of those things that go with it. It's not an easy ride, the decision to work for yourself or create a startup or a business. So this program really allows you to have that support through the sessions that you have with Brendan and the support that you get from Greg. But honestly, the one-on-one support that you'll get with Kelly, really, when Kylie and Kerry Ann talk to you, you're going to get a really good overview of, you know, what benefited those through that support. And so my position is, as the program coach, is really to be able to support you to better understand how you do your work, what you focus your attention on, where are your blind spots, and what do I want to do differently. And so the other thing that we're doing a little bit differently this time is that you opt in. So there's not an assumption that you have to do this, because the program is actually asking you to give over your time, your energy, and we all know it's precious. It's a really precious resource. So if you don't have it, this is not the service provision that I can support you with coaching. It's not compulsory, because it really does add an element of additional support, you know, time that you need to, because you've also got the work. So not only are you attending the sessions, you're also doing the work that needs to be done, and then you've got me, right? So you got to really be ready to have that conversation. You've got to be ready to have a conversation about how you work. You've got to be interested in wanting to know what my blind spots are, and really take a journey of self-discovery through the process of being an entrepreneur and a startup. So that's what I'll be offering in the program, and I'm hopeful that I'll get to see a little bit more of any of you, or each of you, or some of you. So if you've got any questions, by all means, you can ask me more questions before you do the assessment. But honestly, when you take the assessment, don't assess it too much. Drag and drop, just don't think too much about it. The more you internalize it and trying to figure out why they're asking the question, you're just best off to just ask the question and the first one that comes to mind. Just drag and drop. Okay, so and it's a really fun exercise. Read through all of the reading, and if you're not much of a reader, that's okay. There's a video, so listen to all the videos and watch the videos. Very informative. I've had people come back and say that just through that, simply just by reading and watching the little short videos, that they were able to transform a lot of their particular focuses of attention just in that, without me. So it's a very powerful tool, and I welcome you to embrace it and ask questions. So thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Kelly. And yes, so the assessment for those that do sign up, we'll be sending out, and it takes about 15, 20 minutes. Yeah, I know the first time I did it when I perhaps wasn't in a good space at the time, and thought, I wasn't thinking the right things at the right time. And yeah, but I know that the results are pretty true for me. Yeah, getting that debrief and finding out about it and get some coaching really helped me in my own journey in the next steps for my business, and helping me get a bit of confidence. So we really encourage people to reach out to Kelly during the program, because we know how much is really going to help you personally. Yeah. So thank you, Kelly. And what I might do now is hand over to two of our deadly alumni, and yeah, with some great businesses. So I might start with Kylie.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me, brother?
Yes.
Yes. So good to see you again, Kelly and Greg and Sister Kelly. It's yeah, thanks for the call to invite me in. So hello, everyone. So I'm actually dialing in from Dharawal country today. So I'm a proud Gamilaroi woman. So my mob's from Walgett. And who was his sister Charmaine mentioned Warrabinda and Cherbourg. So my grandmother was actually born in Warrabinda, and I've got connections to Cherbourg as well because my stepdad was a fisher. So big mob from Cherbourg there as well. So really nice to hear those two deadly places. But look, I did when was it? Was it the last program about 4 months ago now, Greg?
Yep.
Yeah. So I found it online, and it, you know, I always believe that people, circumstances, or things and events will pop up into your life, when you need it most. Sometimes you're just looking for a little something to help with, whatever direction that you're going on. And so for me, I'm actually an author. So I published my first book in December last year. It's called Dream Big and Imagine the What If. Here it is here, big deadly author I am. Don't know who I think I am, but I've always had a goal to want to write a book. I actually work full time. So I work in Aboriginal education. So I lead an Aboriginal education team. I'm a primary school teacher. I've probably spent the last 20 years working in finance, community services, and then always knew that I would come back to education. So I wrote my book, and I've also developed like an accompanying journal as well for my book. And I've actually just come back from a writing retreat just now, because I'm about to launch, or later on this year, I'm actually writing book number 2 with my high school teacher. So the book is called Be That Teacher Who Makes a Difference and Lead Aboriginal Education for All. So this teacher that I'm writing with was the teacher that made a difference for me. I was that 15-year-old girl, heavily addicted to drugs, not going anywhere in life, didn't think that I was ever going to be good enough or smart enough to do anything. And this teacher made a difference for me, and I've gone on to live a life that probably wasn't designed for me, a path that I was heading down a very negative path. So I really do, I guess, love education, and I've been working in education for a long time now, and working a full-time job, but I'm very creative, and I've always had a dream to get into business. So for me, this program came up at the right time, because I was just about to launch my book, didn't know anything about marketing or business, and by participating in the program, it just provided me with so much insight in regards to how to market, the little things I needed to be doing. And I guess there's quite a few takeaways that I have taken away from it. And I loved the sessions with both Kelly's and Greg and everyone. I'm probably a step further than I was then, because I am working full time now, but my dream is to transition over across to this business. So I'm about 2 months away from kind of going into business part-time, which I need to probably let the team know about. But look, one of the big things that I got out of it, which is little simple things such as my website. So I was with this old host website that was hosting it. Anytime you needed to make a change on it, you had to contact someone who, if there was a typo or one little thing that you had to change. When I had my session with the other Kelly, she introduced me to Squarespace, which has pretty much changed my life. All my sales are on there. You do your email campaigns, and you can do it all yourself. It's like amazing. Simple things like that. They introduced me to the power of videos as well, which I'm still trying to grow my confidence in. Get me in front of a live audience and I'll speak to hundreds of people. I'm really confident when it comes to speaking, but the video stuff was kind of really, and it still is really scary for me, but it's really understanding those marketing techniques, and that sometimes people don't always want to read your stuff. They want to just click a button and maybe hear you talk about it for a minute or so. So I need to get a little bit more confident in that. But the thing I think that I always thought that I always admire, and I still do admire, people that have their own business. I think, it's a really brave and bold thing to do, to be just owning your passion and your commitment and, really following your heart. I have a great job now. I work for education, get paid decent money. I'm loving it, but at the same time, I want to be creative. I want to create my own programs. I want to stop working for the man, basically, you know what I mean? So it's all of you guys that have your own business, I think it's like absolutely amazing. I'm not quite there yet, and I'm really turning down a lot of opportunities because I'm like, oh, I can't, sorry, I work full time. But it just, by participating in the program, I really started, I think it's increased my passion and commitment to actually want to move into this space. I'm 41 now. I don't want to get to the end of my career going, geez, Kylie, I wish you would have had a go, or what if you would have actually taken that, that leap and really given it a good shot. So all of the support is there, the videos, all the people that they bring into the program, they're just deadly, honestly. All the videos are there. I guess my advice is to just throw yourself into it. Sometimes, some weeks it's really overwhelming because there's a lot to go through, all that blueprint stuff that brother Brendan there goes through. He's a deadly businessman, and you just think, wow, all the finances and the way that you need to be doing it all. I probably feel like I want to go back and watch some of the videos and really delve back into some of the information. Like I just think for anyone, and like, who wants to be working for someone else for the rest of your life, when you can do your own thing? But there are, I think, a few little tricks and bits and pieces that you will get out of it to help you in your business, whether it's about the marketing or really pivoting your business to get to where it needs to be. It's out, I think as blackfellas, we are smart and we're creative. And I think by us going into business and owning our story and doing what we love, we're also going to be creating that change and those opportunities for our future generations as well. So look, if you have any particular questions, otherwise I think I talk too much, I go on too much, but look, it was amazing for me. I would go back and do it again. I got to meet some really amazing people. I think that was probably the most important thing as well, is meeting like-minded people that were in that same headspace, you know, because it's scary. Like, it's easier just to rock up and apply for a job, go do your 9-to-5 job, get paid, and that's it. You go home, you don't have to worry about it. Like, I think what I've discovered is business is hard, but it's also really rewarding. So I've only just started to get a bit of a taste of it, being an author. So I'm self-published, so I actually have to market my book, and it's already landed in the hands of people right across Australia, even people in Canada, Ireland, New Zealand, America are reading my book now. And my book's, you know, basically my story, and I encourage everyone to write a book because I believe we all have a story. And anyway, are there any questions? Or Greg, did you want me to talk about anything in particular? Because otherwise I just go off and start yarning about everything.
You're doing well. And perhaps if anyone's got any questions, we'll leave that to the end.
Of course.
Yeah, and now we'll just throw it over to you, Carrie-Anne.
Hey everyone, I was like, I'm going to go after Kylie, and she's going to be up here, and then I'm just going to like bring it on back down here. So welcome everyone, hello, and thank you for having me. I apologise if I can't be heard by anyone. I've currently got COVID, so my ears are blocked. So if you can't hear me, just let me know. So yeah, my husband and I, we started a managed service provider business, which is a business to business IT support company. We started that in July last year. An email came through one day and said, hey, would you like to have a look at this program? And I looked at my husband, I was like, yeah, why not? Because, you know, when we decided we're going to start a company, I was literally Googling, how do you start a business? So that came through, and I thought, you know what, bugger it, let's just give it a go and we'll just see what happens. I was very fortunate. The very first two faces I see were Greg and Kelly Lawson on the call here. And I was just welcomed and really bought into the program from the very beginning. So before I did the interview, I was like, oh, do you know what? We'll see what happens. If we get it, we get it. If we don't, we don't. You know, who really cares? And then after my interview, I was like, oh my God, I have to do this business. Like, I have to do this program. Like, I have to. If I don't get it, I'm probably going to cry. So, you know, I need to make sure I get it. Completely, excuse my language, half-assed my interview, mind you, but managed to still get my foot in the door, thankfully. My sessions with Kelly Slesser were pretty good. One of the things she goes over is when you start to get spam emails and things like that on your website, you're doing well, because it means your ranking, your SEO is doing really well. So not long after revamping our website with her, we started to get, hello, look at my proposal, all those sorts of emails. Yeah, a couple months down the track now, every time we get them, we still go, yes, excellent, more spam. So that was one of the real big things we got out of our sessions with her. Kelly Lawson, I liken her to business counselling. I've always referred to her as my business counsellor, and that'll never change. Being that we are a partnership, and there's a lot of you on here that either with your husbands, wives, or just your mate Isaac. They're really, really good sessions to have, because it's so important to learn how to work with other people, especially in your business. So my husband and I, we are chalk and cheese. We they say opposites attract, but we're 100% different. And Kelly really helped us to understand when, he's stressed or worried or whatever. I kind of come in and I'm like, it's water off a duck's back, and I'm just chill, and how that can cause a bit of friction between the two of us. Because I'm like, it'll sort itself out, it'll be fine. And he's just like, no, it's got to be done. So those sessions really, really like soak them up and really make the time to attend those sessions. And Kelly's amazing. She'll just bug you the whole time until you get in and get it done, because that's what she's there for. And they're amazing sessions. You leave feeling really nice and refreshed. And Brendan, what can you say about Brendan? I think he's his own brand right there. He's a wealth of knowledge, and it's his job to explain to you the information that you need. So don't ever be afraid to ask for further information or clarification, because they will just keep coming back to you and back to you and back to you until you understand it. And that's probably my biggest takeaway from the whole program, is there's just no such thing as cutting corners in business. If you're going to have a sustainable business and you're going to be, not part of that stat where in, I think it's two years time, you might not have a business at all. If you really don't want to fall into that trap and you really want to make something out of your business, then just don't cut corners. Get in, do the work and get it done. The support's all there for you. They can't do the work for you, but they can certainly give you the tools and resources that you need. And that won't stop when the program stops. They'll continually reach out. They'll continually check in. They're like an extended family that you can't get away from. I should have mentioned I'm actually in Perth as well. So that's just how, I'm miles away from everyone else, but yet they still check in and still make sure I'm going all right. So that's a really, really big part of the program. As Kylie said, it can get really overwhelming, and I've got 4 young children and a household to run, and there was days where I just thought, you know what, I just can't even fathom getting online to do this program tonight, but I did it anyway because it's so important to work on your business, and setting this time aside really helps you with working on your business. If you're not working on your business and you're just working in it, you might as well be working for the man. You might as well not have your own company at all or your own business, because that's just a really vital part of running a business. But when it gets overwhelming, just reach out to Greg, either of the Kellys or Brendan. You can reach out to people like myself and Kylie, but you just got to slow down, just take it all in, and just reach out. That's the biggest thing, I think. So. But yeah, also, if anyone has any questions or wants me to do some of their, flicking out some of their social media posts, I'm a Kylie Captain fan, and I think that was a big part of our program. We all kind of stuck together. I do work with a couple of the previous alumni, some very closely and some not so closely. But yeah, I think the networking and the support you get from your fellow students, I guess you call each other, is also really good. So definitely lean on each other and on the support that's there.
And as Kerry-Ann said, there's a lot of support during the program, and I'm there throughout the program, looking at doing weekly, fortnightly, depending on your schedules, check-ins, and looking at doing some coaching sessions and helping you to digest what we just went through, and what is your market opportunity and whatever we're working on that week, and really helping you through those different aspects of the program. All right, well, the next steps basically is to hop onto our website, firstinnovators.org, and hop on our programs page. And on there, you'll see a little bit more information about the program, as well as a little button to register. So if you haven't already, please register for the program. And I look forward to being able to chat to you more about your businesses and the program. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you very much.